Welcome back, everybody, to Bachelor Happy Hour's Golden Hour. Thanks so much for joining us again, and we are so excited to be back, right, Kathy?
Oh, my goodness, Susan. How are you doing?
I'm getting there.
Okay, so
this thing goes around all this time of year. Everybody's sick. I think you started it.
Yeah. Who started it? You started it. I don't know. We're doing this today, not feeling the best, but we love answering Bachelor Nation questions. And so if you haven't yet, please send in your questions because we love chatting with Bachelor Nation faves. I don't know, Susan, who we got today?
I'm telling you, speaking of Bachelor Nation, we have one of the newest members joining us today. How excited are we? Please welcome Guy from Joan's season of The Golden Bachelorette. Hey, Guy, welcome.
Hey, Guy.
Well, hi.
How you doing?
Both of you.
Are you ready to be on the hot seat?
I am on the hot seat. Turn it up. Turn up that hot seat. That hot seat.
So we've got to know you. We've gotten to know you a little bit, but we want Bachelor Nation. So we're going to get to know you, and then we're going to have you help us answer some questions from our Bachelor Nation questions. But in the meantime, before we get to that, tell us what's been going on in your life.
Yeah.
Let's see.
But wait, didn't you get sick right after the show too? That's where it started.
I actually did. I did. The day
Susan, it is him.
It is.
It may have been. It was the day after. Well, I think I picked it up in Las Vegas because I'd gone to Vegas the week before to see the Eagles at the Sphere, which is unbelievable.
I'm going Sunday to see our Eagles.
No, he means the Eagles, the music group. Susan, different Eagles.
No, I'm talking football. Yeah. Come on.
The Sphere is a place in Vegas for music. Go ahead, Guy.
Yeah, so that's where I think I picked it up because it was the day after the finale. When I flew home, I started feeling poorly, and the next day, awful, and I tested positive for COVID. But I'm pretty sure I probably had influenza just because in the ER, we used to test for 3 batteries of test viruses, RSV, influenza, and COVID all at the same time. 50% of the people who tested positive for COVID also tested positive for influenza. And so it's very common right now.
But isn't it a flu? I mean,
it is COVID, influenza. Yeah, there's influenza A, B, H1N5. If that means anything or nobody cares.
Doc.
It's a virus.
So basically, where we are, you can tell he's an ER doctor because we common people refer to it as the flu. Only a doctor says influenza.
I had bronchitis straight up.
Yeah, we both have bronchitis, so we're making it better. But we want to know. Want to know. I don't know, Susan. Where should we begin?
What do you want to tell us?
What do you want to tell us, Guy?
We'll let you start. What would you like us to
We'll
know?
warm this up slowly.
Who is Guy? Except we know the guy on TV.
Yeah.
But
yeah. What I will say is that the show was actually, from the beginning, I've used the term a transformational journey for me. And I want to clarify what that means to me because it means something to each person. But it wasn't just the show that made it transformational. It was the 6 months leading up to it. A lot of things happened, major milestones in my life that changed, that just kept putting me into a better spot. One of those is I decided to hang up my stethoscope, as I refer to it, retire after 35 years of working in the same ER, and was able to do everything I wanted to do, accomplish everything. I was turning 66. I said, it just feels like the right time. And that was one of them. But, what I'll say there's 5 things to this transformational journey. The first thing is, and I don't want to sound too mumbo jumbo psychological, but the first thing is that I learned to love myself again.
Did you hear me this morning on that other podcast? Because you just quoted me.
Susan always says that.
Okay,
it's true.
But it was true, and before you have to love yourself before you could love someone else.
Amen.
And so the second thing was, and this was part of what the show helped me with, and going through the process, it allowed me to know that I can truly love again. And what I mean by that is I think a lot of times when people get divorced or they're separated, because you can describe love in so many different ways, but I broke it down into a love of convenience and a love of passion. And convenience is those people who jump into a quick relationship afterwards because they just need somebody, need something to fill a void. Mm-hmm. I personally don't need a love of convenience. I'm looking for that love of passion, that feeling you used to get when you were 25 years old. Maybe most
Susan,
of that was hormonal.
he sounds like you. I don't know. This is a match made in heaven.
Do we have like the same parent or something?
I'm listening to Susan says these things all the time.
I'm taking it.
Susan, I was born in Philadelphia.
Oh, see that? And my kids were born in Texas, in Arlington. But would you say you are a romantic?
Yes, very much so.
Wear your heart on your sleeve. We're twins. We should date then, Guy.
I mean, there's a reason. There's a reason I got emotional on the show, and those emotions were real. They weren't contrived. You can't. I can't
make it up.
I can't make myself tear up or cry. For no reason. So there is that. And my kids have always said, Dad, you've always worn your emotions on your sleeve. I get I'm very sentimental, very nostalgic. So those are the two things. The third thing, in that transformational journey is I really have established an even better relationship with my 4 kids. Not that I didn't have it before, but it's just gotten stronger, and part of this is they get older and more mature. They've become parental to me, and making sure I'm eating right and I'm doing things. And, I'm going, what happened here? Are you supposed to come to Dad for advice? The fourth thing is that I just kept over those 6 months, started getting happier and happier. And even when I got on the show, every week, when we would go through the rose ceremony, and my goal was just to get 1 rose. That
was me. I said to my kids, I can't come home the first week. It would be totally embarrassing. Yeah.
So I said, I don't want to come home and people go, well, how'd that work out for you?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
But I really, and I had a wonderful time with my oldest daughter and one of my sons. So 2 of my kids down in Atlanta for Thanksgiving. I got to spend time with my grandson, and I got big news that my daughter is expecting again next June.
Yeah, congrats. Okay, wait. I got to interrupt here because before we jump into what's going on in your life, we have to ask. Inquiring minds want to know. On the show, Guy, you were wearing your heart on your sleeve, and we heard you say to Joan, "Is there any chance of you changing your mind?" How are you feeling now about all that?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and I can tell you when at the end of the show, because I was guarded, I was very
shocked,
skeptical at the beginning of the show. I just thought, this is not how you find somebody. You find love. I just didn't think it was possible. Well, that really changed during the show, and it was for a lot of different reasons. And for me, Joan was a big factor in that. Okay, it was also the camaraderie between the guys. The bromances between the men were huge, because we spent time not talking about golf or football or baseball. We talked about our lives and our experiences. Yeah. And I journaled for 45 days, every single day, anywhere from 30 minutes up to 2 hours. On the big days, I wrote 20 pages in a journal. And so to go back to your original question, Kathy, is at the end, I was emotional. The emotions were because I was convinced. I had convinced myself that I was Joan's guy,
and rightfully so. I mean,
at the end of the hometown, I was 100%. I said, everybody else is going through the motions. It's me, right? And it got stronger and stronger. I thought we had it's not a true overnight, but our time together alone, that whole day I thought was magical, as was the hometown. Yeah. And so I was mentally in this mindset, gosh, you can you can learn to love again. You can have those feelings again. And so when I got the knock on the door, I honestly had somehow convinced myself that she was there to tell me that I was her guy, not that she was about to let me down and that her heart lies
that
with
was
someone
really
else.
obvious, Guy. Watching it back, we thought the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew. No, I'm sorry. We know how the show goes, so we knew that you thought that it was going your way. A knock on the door is never a good thing, Guy. Just FYI.
I know that now. I know that now. And I still had in my head that I was convinced, because that morning when I was interviewed, I let it all out. I said, you know what? I'm going all in. I'm going to meet her kids. I was convinced her kids would really like me.
They would.
I was ready.
They would have.
I was ready to even ask them for their blessing. That's how I was set. And then 30 minutes later, you know, she knocks on the door, and I still convinced myself, okay, she's here for the right reason. And then when she said, can we sit down and talk? I was going, oh, this is not going to go well. Okay. Then I knew this was not good. So that's why when she said that, and then I asked her back, because I just was like, you know what? Give me a little more chance. Give me that last part I was supposed to get, the chance to meet her family, to spend more time with her. Because really, in retrospect, when I looked at the finale, after the rose ceremony, she even said live on stage, she said it was all about timing. It was, she thought that, she said this, and I can't quote the exact words she said, but essentially, you know, if we had more time, there's a good chance that we would be together, you know? And so, but now going back,
we're healthy and good.
I've had 4 months to like think about it. I can tell you, I struggled for the first 3 to 4 weeks after I got home.
Yeah, sure.
I kind of isolated, quarantined, but then you start to assimilate things. You start thinking about it. You spend more time, and then watching the show back was very therapeutic for me. Because I knew what happened, but you don't know the real details of what happens.
Right.
And it allowed me to see that. It allowed me, and even when I got home after the finale, because on the finale, I only got to see part of it. I didn't get to see everything that everybody had seen. I watched my part, you know, off stage, off camera, but I saw nothing else. And then I went on stage, and that went by like that.
Isn't it weird to watch yourself showing emotion? It's kind of strange, right?
It is. And it you know, I tried to warn everybody. I said, just okay. Please be kind to me, especially, you know, my male friends who want to harass the crap out of me. Like, really? You had to cry on TV?
At David's Bridal, love is...
This season is perfect to enjoy Cerizers. This vibrant, washing herbal and citrus finish.
So let me ask you, let me just turn a little bit here. So we are all of a certain age, and when we talk about dating, obviously we're all in our golden years here.
Yeah, what's it mean to you to be in your
what does it mean,
years?
not only just to be golden, but dating, how it looks different, relating with your kids. How is being in your golden years, never mind doing it on national TV, how does it feel to be dating and doing this all in your golden years?
Yeah, it's definitely, as I've said before, it was a whole lot easier when we were young and in college, or when I was in medical school. It was easy, right? Because we had not, if you met somebody, you were going to mold your life together with them. We're now at this position where our lives have already been molded. Yeah. Now when we meet somebody, we have to meld those 40 years together. We have to meld our kids together. We have to meet our family, our own little quirks and personalities that we all possess. We have our filters and our idea of what we want in a partner. That, you know, when you're younger, it was like, boy, they're really cute. I think I'd like to go on a date with them. And then
He's hot. I'm going to date him. Yeah,
exactly. Right. Didn't really
now you got to worry about what you got to worry about what your kids think.
Sure, that it is. And
well, you're looking for your companion, somebody you're going to spend the rest of your time with, that you get along with, and you enjoy each other's company.
And that's, and I talked about at one point 5 C's, which turned into more, and that was communication, compatibility, connection,
and good
caring.
looks.
Caring. Well, there's
one more. We need one more.
Caring,
what's the 5th one?
Caring and compromise. You have to be able to compromise.
That's us, Kathy. Compromise, communication.
I will also say the other C's that have come to mind is comedic, right? I love to laugh. I'm self-deprecating. The other person has to be able to do the same thing. If they can't laugh themselves,
I think he's asking me out, Susan. I think he's asking me out right here.
You're talking to the comedy team over here. I mean, that's all we do is laugh. It's very important.
And that's why I like you guys.
Okay, but who do you have your eyes on? Anybody from our season?
I will say.
Is it me?
I'll go more than Susan and Kathy. I haven't decided.
I'm not letting them off the hook. Come on.
Especially after you guys went through everything you went through, you guys look terrific.
Yeah, I just did it again. Look at me.
I watch your stuff. I'm going, they just keep getting better looking,
Well, thank you.
You guys are like Benjamin Button. You're going in the wrong direction or the other direction.
So let me ask you something, guys. Dating prior to the show.
Yeah.
And dating after the show, how does it look different to you? What's the difference?
It's definitely different. I will admit that before the show, so after my separation and divorce, I tried to date locally, but in Reno's very small population, 400,000. It's geographically isolated. I mean, you have to go 450 miles to Vegas, 600 miles or 500 miles to Salt Lake City, 600 to Portland, and 200 to San Francisco. So once you get into your age criteria...
Can we just stop right there? Wait, Susan, do you love the fact that Guy has it down to the miles to each of those cities? I just want to point that out to everyone.
I like to drive. I have a great car. I'll just cruise on over.
Not that he isn't dating in his neighborhood, but he knows exactly the mileage to these cities. I love it. Carry on.
It is. And so I went, I tried to date locally, but I just wasn't comfortable with that.
There's nobody here.
Well, there is. It's just that you'd have to go back and look at my life. But,
right.
My ex and I lived in a fishbowl because she's a politician. And and then I was the head of the ER and I have 13, 14 nieces and nephews. Tough. So it's really difficult. You date one woman. There's a good chance if that doesn't work out, the next one knows that one, who knows that one, who knows that one, who knows that one. Oh. So it makes it a little bit different. I went on dating apps. I tried that.
Didn't we all?
Yes. I met a lot of very nice women, but I can tell you for me, and again, this is where the show came in and this transformational journey is that that I was able, before I thought I was ready. I thought I was emotionally available. That's the term people like to use. I was not emotionally available.
I saw that in the beginning of the show. You didn't seem 100% emotionally available, but towards the middle and the end, you were opening it up. I watched it.
That's exactly, you're 100% correct, Susan. That is right on.
Boy, you two really understand each other. I'm impressed. I have a question, Guy. I'm working for you here, Susan. I'm working it. I have a question, Guy. You and I've talked a little bit, and you have said that dating long distances, that is one thing that constantly comes up when we're talking with Goldens, whether male or female. We there's always a distance thing because we all have children. We all have grandchildren. So, I've made it pretty clear that if I met, and Susan, I think, is in the same boat. If we meet the person for us, I'd be willing to relocate because that's what airplanes are for. I would fly back once a month, rent an Airbnb and see my kids. That for me is not an issue. For some people it is, not for me.
Is it an issue for you?
Well, Guy has said, that's my question, because you had said that dating someone, bi-coastal or whatever you're in Reno, but you know what I'm saying? Dating someone who lives far away is an issue. But is it an issue just in the initial stages, or is it a moving issue for you?
No, it's just the initial stages. Obviously, if somebody is an hour flight away, that's easier to say, hey, let's have dinner tonight. I mean, I literally can fly to
Susan, he's going to send a plane for us. He's sending a plane for us. Keep talking, Guy. It's getting better all the time.
I'm in California a lot.
And then, and when you have, like, say, we can do this easily, but if I'm going back east, we're looking at, like a 12-hour, 13-hour.
Well, isn't it a plan? It's not 12 hours where you stop. It's 5 hours, 4.5.
Wait.
Get over
I just want to point out.
It depends on where you live. Okay. There's some places.
Philadelphia nonstop.
I guess I win. I'm in Texas. See you later, Susan.
No, you're the one you have to stop.
Sioux City, South Dakota, or wherever it's located, would take a little while to get to, But
you're not opposed to it.
Absolutely not. And that's actually a conversation I even had with Joan. I said, because I knew that she's not leaving her family. She's so committed. She is. She's
going to New York.
That's not
as another place, but she's still going to be spending time, with her children. And I suspect Chuck will be doing the same thing because their families mean so much. And
sure.
And for me, to answer your question is, if I found the right person, the distance wouldn't be the problem. I'm retired. None of my kids live in Reno. Okay. They live in San Francisco and Atlanta and San Diego. One of them used to just move from London. So it would be easy for me to relocate. But what I would say is, at least I'm in the position where I'd say, I'm just going to keep my place in Reno. I have another place up in the mountains. It's really fun to go to. And you have a place, let's say, on the East Coast or in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, or
best of all the worlds, right?
Guy,
wherever it might be. And so, why not just have a place there and a place there? Nobody says that you have to pick one place or the other.
I need to tell you, I'm saying this with all joking. I'm glad you're smiling. You know where you went wrong with Joan?
Where?
You needed to bring keys to the mountain house. You needed to bring keys to the house in Reno. And you need to bring a third set of keys. You needed to bring a third set of keys and say, pick your poison. You would have had her.
Okay, I have a good question. Guy, if there is a golden paradise.
I didn't get the opportunity for that.
I'm just, come on, we're old friends now.
I know you're joking.
I'm joking.
That's part of that last night. It's like, when I went back and saw Chuck doing it, I didn't have a chance after that. I said, it was over, right?
So would you be interested if you were asked to go to a golden paradise?
And
admit, if anybody,
I don't know exactly. Tell me what the real premise is behind a golden paradise.
Drinking. Loose women.
Finding someone.
Dance. Wild times. I'm kidding.
Because rumor has it they're going to have us seniors, us Goldens. And if so, who, if anyone, would you like to see on that beach?
Besides Susan and me.
Besides me, yes, and Kathy.
Okay. I will say that I didn't get a chance to meet her at the after party, but she came across so well on the show, was Nancy.
We love our Nancy.
She seems sweet. She seems very sincere, very kind.
She is all of that and then some, Guy. She's a lovely human being. In fact, I'm going to set you two up on a date. There it goes. That's going to go viral,
The three of us
Guy.
are like the Three Stooges.
Yeah. So, but
would you go out with Nancy if I set it up? Will you go out with her?
Oh, would I? Absolutely.
Let me get her on the phone.
I would love to have dinner with her. But you know what? I will also say, there are several other women that were on the show that I would love to have dinner with also to have a nice conversation.
Speak. Who? Come on.
I've already asked you out twice, Guy. You still haven't said yes.
Well, let's see. I don't know if you know it, but Susan, could you talk to Kathy for me? Yeah. Oh, Kathy, could you talk to Susan for me?
We can do a three-way.
You know what? You learned a lot from your wife in politics. Let me just tell you, that was really smart there, Guy.
That's really something, boy. You're good. You're good.
To make planning the perfect beach vacation easier,
love is in every stitch. From the initial
surrounded by loved ones, Vibrant Wine offers a blend of citrus finish. Visit.
All right. So what we do is we share some advice with people that write in. Would you like to join us on this one?
Absolutely.
We're going to read to you what somebody wrote. Kathy, I'll have you read it if you will.
Okay, so this question is from Anonymous. Sometimes people don't like to give their names, and we're good on that. Okay, hi, Kathy and Susan, and today, Guy. I need your help. I just found out that this is right up my alley. I just found out that I got rejected from my dream college, and I'm absolutely crushed. All of my friends are going to their top schools, and it feels like I'm being left behind. I've decided to go to my local state school for freshman year, and I'm just so upset about it. I was really excited to move somewhere new and have the experience all my friends will be having. What do you suggest I do to feel like I'm not so far behind? Do you think I could transfer next year? Just need some direction right now, I guess. Thank you. First, let me say I was an educational consultant for 35 years, not an ER doc. So, I
need to answer that question.
I'll take the first crack at this one. First of all, Anonymous, you don't feel it right now, but I promise you, it's just like dating. There's more than one guy for you in the world. There's more than one school for you in the world. So things work out for a reason. Go to that state school, meet your friends, join clubs. You will make a place for yourself. If you decide, here's the thing about changing schools after your freshman year. If you don't go and invest in your freshman year and your eye is already on transferring, you're not giving that school a fair shake. I would encourage you, go join the clubs, do all the fun things, enjoy dorm life and all the sorority parties, and take every class that you want to take. And then after a year, you can transfer your junior year if you want. But I would really encourage you to make the most of the situation that you have. You're going to make great friends. You're going to have great opportunities. Sometimes things work out this way for a reason. That would be mine. So go and enjoy yourself. What about you, Guy?
I would say, similar sentiments. I would say that if it's your local school where you live, if you have the ability, move into the dorm at the university or move into an apartment, with some friends. Like you said, join the clubs, think about sororities. A group of people from, let's say, your high school, but you don't know them from the other 4 high schools that are in town.
There you go. That's right.
And once you go there, you have the ability to make a whole new set of friends. You don't have to go 500 miles or 1,000 miles away to meet a whole new group of people.
No, only Guy has to do that to have a date with Nancy. But that's a whole different conversation, Anonymous.
Okay, Anonymous. I'm not going to college. I've already done it. I was there for 10 years.
Really, your answer though was great. I made the assumption. You're absolutely right, Guy. Anonymous, please do move into the dorm, or get an apartment, because that is such an important aspect of college life.
As well as do the best you can do that first year, and then it'll be your choice where you want to go. You'll get it down and get the feel of everything, and you'll feel better about yourself and decide where you want to go. There's nothing wrong with it.
And I in my experience, and this was, I think, for people, at least with my kids, with like high school also, but I think it applies to college, where you really, at least for me, where I really felt connected was when I got to my sophomore year. Yeah. You're still trying to feel yourself out. And what do you want to do? most of the time you change majors 2 or 3 times your freshman year,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
And-
Geez, Guy, you could have
so-
my job. Good for you. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely.
Give those things, give it a chance, and be all in. If it doesn't feel right, after
Call me, Anonymous. I'll help
course,
you with I'll help you with the transfer application. Call me.
But I
That's
think it's totally
absolutely.
normal to feel like she's feeling. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Or he. I
Yes.
don't know.
Yeah.
That's-
But you can have a great time at your local school. No question.
Absolutely.
I will say to you, from a financial point of view, I recommend to students often go to your local or at least an in-state school for your undergrad, because so many kids today need to go for a master's or a PhD or medical or law, whatever it is. And you can go to your local school. It's a lot cheaper. Get those prereqs out of the way. There's a lot of good things about doing that. And also, let me just give you another little bit of advice that I used to charge a lot of money for. Make a name for yourself. Make a name for yourself at that school, because those professors will be the ones that are writing your recs for grad school, helping you get internships. Make a name for yourself there. There's nothing wrong with being a big fish in a small local pond.
This is so true. So true. Now we're going to
100%
get to know Guy
correct.
now. What do you think?
Okay.
Oh, I think
Kathy.
we're getting to know Guy.
We're going to do something a little different, right?
Okay. Bring it on.
So if you were stranded on a desert island and could only bring 3 guys from the mansion, who would they be?
Yeah. 2 would be very easy.
Okay.
So I had there was 5 guys in my room. That was Chuck, Charles L., Gary, and Michael. All really great guys. No question that Gary and Charles were the closest 2 people that I connected with. We got along famously, and I love those guys to the death. And I've talked to Gary several times. Charles not as much because he's so busy. He's Charles L now. All right, he's an icon,
I
but
love
maybe he'll
him.
talk. But he did reach out, and we've talked a little bit. But I would say the third person,
Susan, Kathy.
they weren't in the
Kathy,
mansion.
the men.
Just trying to help him not struggle so much.
I will honestly say Chuck.
Yeah,
Cool.
Because we went to the end, but we were the 2 left in our room together at the mansion.
Right.
Are you
what
talking
room
to
did you
Chuck?
have? Did you have the master suite, or were you in one of the smaller?
We were in the middle ones.
The middle
We were
room.
in the middle one that had 5, so 2 bunk beds and a single
Yeah.
bed. I got the single bed because I was the oldest.
Wait a second. I have a question. Are you talking to Chuck? Have you talked to Chuck or Joan? I forgot to ask you that.
Yeah, I've talked to Chuck several times. Never as long as I want, not as relaxed, because he's got so much. He and Joan are moving at warp speed.
Yes.
I have
It takes a
not had
lot
the
of time to find a place in New York.
Yeah. I've not had the opportunity to speak with Joan since the finale, and then briefly at the after party. But I have talked to Chuck a few times, but I really want to have that, he's going through so much, but I really want to have that conversation with him, because we really became,
Sure,
from my
I could
perspective, we
imagine.
became friends. We
Mhm.
confided in each other a lot, and
Yeah.
got to experience, we got to share our backstories with each other. And
It's
that's
like
how
Kathy
it was
and
with
I.
Gary
Yeah.
and I,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
same.
the backstories are the important part.
That's
you know?
right.
And,
All right. My next question for you is, what would you say is your hidden talent?
Okay. Outside of medicine.
That's not hidden. We all know you're an ER doctor.
I would say I have, and it's not as good as it was, but a pretty good memory and unique ability to remember TV theme songs from the 60s and 70s.
Oh,
Wow.
whoa. Give me Susan, let's think of a show.
In the 60s.
Laverne and Shirley. What?
Shamil, Shamazel, Hobson and McCorkey. We're gonna do it. On your marks, get set, and go now.
Whoa!
We got a dream that you
I love
will
it. How
know
about
now.
Fonzie?
We're gonna make it after all, doing it our way. Anyway, give me
That is a
another
good
one.
talent.
Give me
That
another
is
one.
good. All
One
right, what's
more.
a fun
Gunsmoke.
fact about yourself?
Say that again?
A fun fact about yourself.
Ooh.
I think you just shared one with us, really, but
I did. The fun fact is that I will say, and this is really cool about where like social media, Facebook can really be so incredible. I reconnected because of the show with my first grade teacher from Thornton Elementary in Arlington, Texas. I got this request from Roxanne Mayhew, and I accepted, and I sent a message. I said, could you possibly be Roxy Mayhew, my first grade teacher in 1964-65?
was she asking you out?
And room.
She's a cougar.
She had seen the show. She saw my name. She remembered me because I was in her very first class. She was no more than 23 years old. And we reconnected. And
That's so
sweet.
So
cool.
what I will say, the fun fact is that it's hard to believe now. I was pathologically shy when I was young, probably all the way up into kind of the junior high school is where I started to make a transition. But I mean, I was pathologically shy.
Wow.
You know,
That's interesting.
Well, I was
going to
ask you, your silly, was that a fear? Because that was one of my questions when you were young. What was your silliest fear? It sounds like being called out might have been a fear of yours if you were that shy.
You know, it's funny you're saying this. Joan said how shy she was on our show when she read that poem.
Wait.
My girlfriend, and I love her dearly, doesn't seem shy to me.
Yeah.
Well, the fun fact is that I was pathologically shy then. I am far from pathologically shy now. I mean, you can pretty much get me to do almost anything within reason.
I know we have to wrap up, but there's just one more thing. Is there anything you've always wanted to do but haven't done yet?
You know, what's interesting, the show, which I did not anticipate any of this, clearly did not anticipate the attention, the number of things. So I have some potential opportunities that are out there right now that I think would just be one of them, you know, I think I talked to Kathy about this is, you know, and I don't know how it's going to turn out, but playing in the AT&T Pebble Beach Celebrity Pro-Am Golf Tournament.
We're going to be there with you. We got our clubs.
And I'm sitting there. That is like off the chart. I mean, I have a lesson scheduled at noon today, and because all I want to do is not have to yell out 4 before I even hit the ball.
Mine will be in the water the whole time.
Yeah,
That's okay.
yeah.
You know what? It's all about having fun, Guy. It's not about the
is.
score. Trust me. It's about having fun.
And that's what it is.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
and little things like there's another really cool thing that might come up that I have the opportunity that it's not my bailiwick. I mean,
These things change your life. Being on this show.
They do. I mean, I've been an ER doc. I've not done acting. I've not done podcasts. I've done podcasts, but I do podcasts. I did podcasts every day with patients. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, but not to this extent.
And now that we're in the spirit of a brand new year, you're going to go play Pebble Beach, right?
Yes.
What are some of the things you want to accomplish this year? Have you given that any thought?
Yeah. The answer is yes. First of all, I want to, and this has been hard because I didn't know how much I wanted to do and what I didn't want to do. When I first got back from the show, I was ready to just say, I want to put this all behind me and I don't want to think about this. I want to just move on with my life. I now, having had this experience, I'm having fun.
Yes.
And I'm
We're
thinking
alive.
of 2025 as being one of the most fun years that I've ever had. Getting
24.
to do fun things.
No, he's saying to next year, 2025.
That's what you want it to be.
Yeah,
okay.
I will say to you, Guy, 2020.
Fun.
Susan and I said this at the end of 2023, and 2024 has been a fabulous fun year for us, and we're not stopping. 2025 is going to be a great year for all of us.
It's a lot more to come.
But in the meantime, I hate to break up this party.
I know,
but
we
this
could
is
talk
gonna
to him
do
forever.
We could. This is going to do it, though, Guy, for this episode of Bachelor Happy Hour's Golden Hour. We really want to thank you, Guy, for coming on and being such a good sport and giving advice.
Absolutely.
I didn't even know you. I knew you knew about medicine. Who knew you knew about college counseling? You're just you are a Renaissance man.
I'm going to check right behind you on that golf swing, too. We love getting to chat with you, especially so everybody else could hear your story. Yeah. And we'd love to have you back because there's never enough time.
There isn't, and ask me back anytime. I love this kind of stuff.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody out there, for joining us.
And I love your show, and I love talking to you guys. It's so easy.
Thank you.
And we'll let you know how his date goes with Nancy. But in the meantime, please make sure to submit your questions to us.
If it doesn't work out, I told you before, I'm right here, Guy. I'm right here. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And be sure to follow Bachelor Happy Hour as we have new episodes coming out every week that you will not want to miss.
And please submit your questions to us. All you have to do is go to bachelornation.com/golden hour or DM us on Instagram at Bachelor Happy Hour. We would love to hear from you, your questions, your comments. We'll get you a date with Guy as long as you don't live too far away from him. Listen to Bachelor Happy Hour's Golden Hour on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you listen to podcasts. Till next time, take care.